All right guys, so now we're gonna go ahead and distill the process of creating a video ad. Now, in this video, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be actually finding clips. I'm gonna be covering how I'm gonna find clips, what I'm looking at, while also covering a little bit of what the stages are, so that way we can future pace a little bit and you know what to expect. So first of all, what I want to cover is the ad evolution. So what we have to understand is that we're just in stage one. So even though we're gonna put a good amount of effort into our first ad, you have to understand that with the tactics that we're gonna be using a lot of cost-effective tactics. But as we start becoming more profitable in a legitimate business, we have to invest into these other stages, or else we will never really be able to scale to incredible numbers unless we just absolutely have a winning product, okay? A winning product can do okay, but if you have really winning creative and everything, this is how you build a really good cushion for yourself. Now, what I also want to mention is that when we're creating our ad, we're going to have 3 variations. So the way I've been able to be very profitable with my ads is I let Facebook have a ton of fresh creatives and they optimize specifically for that one ad set. So we're gonna create 3 different versions or 3 different scroll stoppers for the beginning of our ad, and we'll see which one performs best for that specific audience. So we'll be getting into that in the later modules, but we have to cover it right now. So let's briefly cover the roadmap of what we're gonna be doing in this video. So I'm gonna be taking you guys through what I use to source my video clips. I personally like to go to paid mediums to purchase video clips, especially for the introduction. Like if I'm looking for scroll stoppers or something unique, I actually can probably find a good one with stock video. My next option is to find a supplier that already has my video, that has a good video of the product or the images that I can use. That is a really good asset for me to use because sometimes they actually have already really good creatives. They just don't know how to put it together. My then next option is just to film it myself. I like to ship the product to myself and just film it. Like I'll literally make a really good video because I like to have like a high quality video and not necessarily rip it off YouTube because it's not gonna look, you know, as like original. Now the last resort, which is something I actually don't really do, is ripping a video just straight off of YouTube and chopping up the clips. Now, I think 98% of people do this, and so if this is your last resort, then I'll show you like the way we're gonna gather these clips, but this is at least like my process of what I like to do. But regardless, however we get the clips, we just have to fit it into the script. Now, what is the product that we're gonna be kind of going through together? Well, the product is this, and I'll put an overlay, but it's an AC cooler. It's a very good product as far as it's not too easy to make a video for, it's not too hard. So it's a good middle ground that's gonna give you guys a good baseline of how to create a great video. Now, some products are super easy to create videos for, and others are just, you know, it's gonna take a little bit more detail, a little bit more wow factor. But this will have like kind of combination of all of those. So this will be really fun to go over with you guys. And last thing before we do the walkthrough is I wanna go over the ad text or the script. So remember how I mentioned the script of step 1, step 2? Well, I literally followed the exact steps, and I mean, for me, it's easy because I've done it a lot, but I wanna walk you guys through the script because now when I'm looking at clips or trying to find clips, I at least have an idea of like what I'm looking for. So here's gonna be like kind of the simple text overlay that I'll be using along with my video. So in the beginning, it's gonna say something like need to cool down, and it's gonna show someone who looks like they're clearly overheating. The next thing is, what is it? Well, this is the portable AC cooler. What is the benefit? It immediately cools any area in the office, living room, outside. Just pour water and turn it on. So perfect. And the reason why I got this like ad text, well, I literally went on Amazon. I saw, okay, what are the features of this product right here, right? And I see like what were people saying about the product and what are they using it for? So I saw a lot of use cases for it. And so that was actually really simple just to type out, and I was like, okay, so this is why people are most likely purchasing. So I just put it in there, and I might add a couple more benefits. Now, the last couple ones I've noticed is people also use it for sleep. So I might change this, but I'll say it uses cooling technology, so it's quiet and perfect to use at night. So you can switch this around. You could also say with hundreds of great reviews, but regardless, I think I might lean towards it's perfect at night. And then the final close, this is just a no-brainer. It's only available at our website. And what's great is I'm gonna show you guys how we're gonna create a really good looking logo for this specifically. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is try to find some paid stock video. So I'll go through these programs, Shutterstock, this is a good program right here. Adobe.com, sometimes, but I'll go through these and I'll try to find a good scroll stopper. Like that is the first objective of any time I'm trying to source and find clips. So here's what I found. So I found this on Shutterstock. This was a good one. This is just showing someone who's obviously overheating, very clear, very specific. But my favorite one is actually this one. So this guy is literally just spraying himself in the face. And this is actually gonna look really good when we do a text overlay. So this probably took me about 5 minutes to just type around on Google and find. And so I would go ahead and I'm actually gonna download this one just to see if it'll work in our video. And this is a good idea. Now the next thing is I need to actually show the product and show the different features of the product. Now what I would do is order the product and just film it with my phone, but since I'm not gonna do that, the next option that a lot of people do is of course go to YouTube and find clips of people that have already reviewed the product, right? So what I did was I actually copy the URL of YouTube and I then go and I download it on this website, so y2mate.com. So you just click start. It looks like a spammy looking website, but it does download eventually, and then I can have my clip from YouTube, right? Now, like I said, my next option was then to maybe go to AliExpress or Alibaba and see if there was any videos. But as I did my research, I didn't really see many videos or many really great creatives that I can, take. It was all kind of busy, and it wasn't really my favorite. So then, like I mentioned before, I went to Amazon. It helped me kind of know a little bit more about the product and what like real customers are saying about the product, but I couldn't find like great creatives. So what I had to do mostly is actually just scroll through YouTube and just find some clips that I could use in order to create this video. So that's what I did. I literally followed that process. I downloaded these clips, and so what we're gonna be doing is actually putting these clips, and I'll show you how we're gonna do it in sequence. So I pretty much just finished downloading all these clips that I thought would apply. Now, like I said, I like to film it myself just because I like that more HD quality. You'll notice like this doesn't look HD. This looks kind of washed out, pixelated. I'm not a fan of the way this looks. I like it more crisp, and you can only do that if you have original content. But regardless, this is actually a very good start, and I can see that this is gonna come very well together. But the next thing we need before we even start is we need a good logo. Like we need a logo that will look professional. So what I want to show you is actually how I then go to other paid sites like Envato and I download certain typography. So first of all, there are certain templates that we're going to be using in order to create a very professional photo, or to create a very professional video, a very professional logo. And some of these titles, actually the exact titles I'm going to be using, this is all in Envato Elements. It's this one right here. It's this pack. These are gonna have really good animated titles, and you'll see in a little bit. I then downloaded this one, minimal titles. But as far as typography, because I wanna have a good logo, I'm looking for very catchy fonts. And so what I did was I found this one right here. So I found this and I found this. So I decided to use this font, and I wanna show you actually the creation process real quick. So we're gonna jump into Photoshop. Okay, so we're in Photoshop right now, and I wanna show you the difference. So this is just normal text, normal typography font. And right here is actually a Pixabay image of a snowflake, right? But I literally downloaded it from Google. So I didn't do anything special here. And this logo doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look, in my opinion, as good as something like this. So this, in my opinion, looks a little bit better, right? It looks branded, it looks unique, and it looks like this is more of a legitimate brand. So I actually want to show you a couple of the elements that I did. So first of all, I want to show you the typography. So this, like I mentioned, was the actual text that I used, and this is the font. It's called Snow Blue. And what's cool is if we go back to Envato, all I had to do was download this, download it into my account, and that's it. And then immediately it's inside Photoshop. So all I had to do was just switch my typography here, and I have a ton of different fonts, right? But the one I liked was this one right here. So that was the first step, but also if you notice, there's a little bit of a glare on the bottom. So I wanna show you how I also like to have a little gradient glare. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and do this from scratch. So I'm gonna click on it, and I'm gonna just Control C, Control V. Oops, I did it twice. Control V. So now I'm gonna drag it right over here, and what I'm gonna do, here's the text, and what I wanna do is make sure I have it clicked, and I'm actually gonna go ahead and flip it. So I literally just go to help, I click flip, and I flip it vertically. So now it's upside down. So now I need to layer it right here, make sure it's perfect. So now what I need to do is I'm actually gonna go scroll this up a little bit. So now I have this feature right here. So I'm gonna click this button, and it's gonna give me another layer right here. So I'm gonna go and actually create a gradient by using the gradient tool. So I click on the gradient tool, and this is where you can actually judge on how much you want the gradient to be. So I can do a lot, or I can do a little bit. Let's see, I could do a lot. And this is where I have to kind of adjust and see how much I want to do. Let me go right here. It's actually not bad. I might go a little bit shorter, stop it right here. This actually looks very clean. It's very subtle, but it's those little details that actually make it look very good. So we'll have it right here. Perfect. So I like the way this looks, and it was a very simple process. And what I'll do now is I'm gonna go over here, get this little tool, and I want this to be my logo. So I am going to crop this out and save it as a PNG. But before I can do that, I'm gonna scroll down here to this layer, and I'm gonna uncheck this. I'm gonna hide it, and it's gonna be transparent, right? But I'm gonna go up to here, click crop. Now, I'll be honest, doing Photoshop work or any of this stuff, like yes, you can do it yourself, or you can just have someone on Fiverr do it. And to really learn this, like it's gonna take a couple tries to literally go through all of these like buttons. Like this is not a course on exactly how to become a professional Photoshop editor, but you can pretty much just copy exactly what I did, download the typography, have a simple logo that represents what your business is, and you're off to the races. It's not necessarily the most important thing to have this perfect right now, but this is gonna look really good, and you'll see me edit the video in pretty good detail. So after we have this, we're just gonna click File, Export, Save for Web Legacy, and we're gonna save it right to our computer. So we did quite a bit here. So we downloaded some typography. Make sure you also download these animated titles as well. And what I'm gonna show you is actually once you download these titles, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna drag them in and actually apply it into our project. So there's a couple little things that we have to do. So this was just kind of the gathering stage of how we gather our videos. We kind of do our research. We see, okay, we're gonna look at clips based off of what we have to do in our video, right? If we're describing the product, great. And then after that, I'm gonna create the video, and I think it'll make sense on how to have a really stunning video. So let's continue to the next one.